Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III. Yes, finally making a video about it. Actually, this is the second video because I recorded the first one and then they updated it to Android 12. So yeah, I made this whole video that I was going to put out tomorrow and I had it ready to go. And then yesterday night, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's like, ta-da, here's Android 12. So yeah, I could have released the other video, but I'd already complained that it didn't have Android 12 yet in it, so I kind of had to scrap that. But I like it. I've actually really been enjoying using it, and part of that, of course, is because it's refreshing, it's new. I haven't used a Sony phone in like forever, and I've never actually owned one, so I wanted this for quite a while, especially because it has this neat purple color. Of course, the lighting here is not the greatest for you to be able to see it. If the lighting is not white enough or not bright enough, it does kind of look darker. Not so much purple, but I actually like it a lot. And what's also cool is you can get a case for it that kind of matches. This is the Caseology Nano Pop, and you can find that down in the description along with other affiliate links. And right now, one other nice thing about this phone is they have it on sale for $839 on Amazon, or at least they did 2 days ago when I looked, which is cool. I bought this phone, I got it on eBay, basically mint condition, already had a screen protector in the case and all the whole 9 yards. The price hadn't dropped as of then. Otherwise, I'd have bought it brand new. I like brand new phones, but this one was as good as I could get. And then I was recording, I was doing some more research, and I thought, wow, $839. That's really compelling because you get a lot of good stuff here. You get a Snapdragon 888, you get this big 6.5-inch screen, which I like. It's not a monstrosity, but it's not too small. It's 4K and a 21:9 aspect ratio, meaning that it's thinner than most traditional smartphones. This is the Pixel 6, this is the Xperia 1 Mark III. You can see that there's a fundamental difference here. The Pixel is much wider, and that represents much more common phones. Kind of works out with the ergonomics though, and actually it's a pretty thin phone. It's got kind of a squared off boxy appearance on the sides and the ends. I dig it. It's also got a headphone jack up top, 120 Hz refresh rate, also a nicety. One thing about this phone is it came out way late in the year, so they waited. Like Samsung came out with the phone, OnePlus came out with the phone, Pixel, you got the new Google phone with the Pixel 6, you got the new iPhone, and it's like, ta-da, here's the Sony phone. But it is nice, it's refined, it's polished, it's got this big camera array on the back for taking photos, 3 12-megapixel cameras, 12-megapixel primary, telephoto, and ultra-wide, so you're covered there. And it does take pretty good pictures. It can take even better pictures if you know how to do things like manual mode photography. This one, it's got like all the different modes, and you can see some of that stuff here. I'm not going to cover it too much. I did go take a bunch of pictures. Unfortunately, the lighting wasn't so great outside. One thing is with this camera, you can't get super ultra close with it because it's a fairly large sensor on here. If you get too close, it kind of starts to blur things out, and it'll tell you, especially with portrait shots, you need to scoot back. But the phone itself, if you like to go hands-on, if you wish you had like a DSLR in your hands, or I don't know, Micro Four Thirds, some sort of a professional level high quality camera, that's kind of what you get here with the whole infusion with the Sony Alpha technology and all that crazy stuff. This is like having a smartphone camera. I mean, if you blend that all into one word, one product, not just smartphone camera, but it's all kind of infused together. And it's also got a dedicated shutter button, which I like. If you just press it and hold it, it pulls up the camera. That's nice. If you press it and hold it halfway, it does the autofocus, just like you would on like a Sony camera. And then you press the button all the way, you take your shot. You can program it. You can have the shutter set up to do different things. You can do burst photography, regular photography, all that great stuff. And one thing I don't like is a selfie camera. Now, I know, interesting segue there, but I was just thinking as I was talking about the phone, the camera on the front is formidable. It's a serviceable camera, but I think whenever you talk about a $1,200 phone, having it's just okay selfie camera kind of takes away from the whole package. When people go pick up a smartphone, they want it to do everything well. And especially when you have a Sony name attached to it, you expect great photography. And that's very true if you talk about the primary cameras on the back. You can do some amazing stuff with this. And then you talk about the selfie camera, and you're like 8 megapixels, 1080p at 30 frames per second. It doesn't even do 60 frames per second on video. It doesn't do 4K. Not that it needs to compete in this territory, but when you look at Samsung and OnePlus, they're shooting 8K video, and this is shooting 1080p at 30 frames per second. So not saying that's the end of the world. The Pixel phones have done great in the past with an 8 megapixel front-facing selfie camera. This one takes pretty decent selfies, but it doesn't have the level of detail, and it's not on the same level as the back end of the phone with the primary cameras. So I really question why they did that. I'm not going to go say don't buy it because of that. It's not bad. I don't want to paint a picture that it's bad, but it's not great, and you would expect it to be a little bit better. So in addition to that, full complement of biometrics, which is a really nice refreshing change from especially the Pixel 6 that has no facial recognition. This one has facial recognition, and it has a fingerprint sensor conveniently built into the power button right here. Works pretty well. You just boop, good to go. Now it's not the fastest in the world, as you can see, but it's faster and more reliable than the one on the Pixel. If you have one, you can relate. I like the phone. I've been enjoying using it. It's a nice change of pace from the Samsungs and from the LGs that I used to use, and then from the Pixel, so on and so forth. This is something I've always wanted to check off on my phone bucket list, and I used to go look at them at Best Buy all the time, like the Sony Xperia XZ1 Premium, the XZ2, the XZ3. They used to have those all the time. They bundle them with headphones. I mean, they had this one bundled with the 104s, the XM104, whatever. I can't remember the Sony nomenclature on it. I reviewed the things. I wish they'd just give them a real name. But anyway, the phone itself, it offers a lot, especially whenever you take into consideration it's got flagship level stuff. No, it doesn't have the new Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. I don't find that to be particularly bad though. And it has a 4,500 milliamp battery, which is, I think, is okay so far. And one thing I really like about this phone is the storage. Yes, the storage. Why? Because it has a baseline 256 or 512. There's no 128 option, and that's been a complaint I've had about a lot of the other phones. You look at the iPhone, you look at the Pixel phone, you look at the Samsung phones, they start off with the 128, and then they charge you for extra. This one starts off at 256, and both models have 12 gigs of RAM. There's no sacrifice there. There's no, hey, we'll give you 128 and 8 gigs of RAM to start with and go up from there. You're covered, 256 and 12 gigs of RAM across the board, which is a really nice thing that I like that Sony did here. They really appreciate and understand that people who want a phone built for taking pictures and doing video need extra storage space. It has a 4,500 milliamp battery, which I think is okay so far. It seems like it's gotten better since I upgraded to Android 12, so I like that. I think there's some more active power and battery management stuff in there, so that's cool. One other cool thing that's nice about it, the SIM card tray also houses a spot for an SD card, so you can put external storage in here. Yes, you can throw an SD card in there, which is something you would expect for somebody who wants to shoot and offload video and pictures and not keep them on the phone. If you get one of these and you shoot a lot of that stuff, you're kind of thinking, okay, how do I get this quickly and easily over to a media card slot so I can get the data off of it, right? Well, you can pull it out with your finger. No need for a SIM card tool. Ta-da! It pulls right out. You can put in a second SIM card so you can rock dual SIMs, or you can put an SD card in it, pop it back in there, and you're good to go. And that's another thing. If you like this stuff and you want to use this as a mobile photography and content creation platform, you need to be able to access stuff quickly. So it's like, okay, pop the SD card out, put another one in, throw it back in the phone and go, just like you would with a regular camera. You can do everything on the fly. The only thing is there's no exchangeable batteries here. But the nice thing is though, is you got your USB-C on the bottom. You can throw a battery bank on there and charge it on the go. And that's also a nice option as well. Technology has kind of changed things. You might not necessarily need a removable battery. You've also got a dedicated Google Assistant button over here on the side, which is nice. You just press that, pulls up the Google Assistant, you're good to go. And the speakers are actually pretty nice too. The presentation, the package, I like it a lot. I like the thin form factor. I like the 21:9 aspect ratio. It's great for watching, well, quite frankly, movies. It's great for watching videos in cinematic style quality and with the way they were intended to be watched, not having the letterbox effect. It's pretty cool. For somebody who likes movies like I do, it's a really nice selling point. And also, it's got this really neat rumble feature. Whenever you're watching movies and listening to music and doing stuff like that, you can have it enabled where the phone vibrates like in tune with the music or with the movie, so it gives it, I guess, more of an immersive feel. It's usually falls somewhere between gimmicky and really cool, because sometimes it's like, wow, this really enhances the movie. Like if you watch the new Top Gun the new Top Gun trailer, and then if you go listen to like some Enya or some Celine Dion, it's really not quite the same effect. But not that I listen to those or pass judgment on those who do. I'm merely highlighting when you probably don't want a rumbly phone. So The phone itself, I think is pretty neat. IP68, NFC, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, quick charging. I mean, it's got basically everything. Sony did a good job putting this together. It feels way better with Android 12. With Android 12 on here, it feels basically like the other smartphones. When I first got it and I was using it for a couple of days, I was like, man, I've been using Android 12 on the Samsung phones, on the Pixel phones. It feels weird stepping back to Android 11, and now I've got it on here. So it feels more complete. It feels better. I like it. I'm a big fan of the look and the feel of Android 12. Not so much the bugs, but the nice thing is I haven't really experienced any bugs so far either. So that's also a win. Yeah, I think they did a good job here, and what I like now is that you can get it cheaper. You know, like $1,200, it's less of a sell because I'm like, all right, if you look at what you can get for less than that with the Pixel 6 Pro, with the S21 Ultra being about the same price, the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max are cheaper. It's one of those things where it's a hard sell. Already you can't walk into a Best Buy or go to your carrier and go pick one up. So you have to make this thing attractive to people to want to get, right? I mean, Sony carries that name. It carries that legacy. So I know what they're doing. They don't sell a lot of the phones, but they do it in a way where they can try and keep making phones, stay in the market, and make money. That's a good way to do it, but it means your market size is not going to be very big. You're not going to have much market share at all. That big slice of the pie just isn't there. So you're going to see less incentives, less availability, all that stuff. But if you can get one of these at $839, that makes it a really attractive price point and very competitive, because at $839, this is one heck of a phone. Honestly, I'd probably recommend this at $839 over the Pixel 6 Pro, and that's saying something. I think it's a decent phone, but when you look at the Pixel 6 Pro, $899, you look at the iPhone 13 Pro, $999, the Pro Max, $1099, the S21 Ultra, $1199, that makes this really compelling. So if you can snag one of those, then that's a total deal, and it makes it really, really viable, and I like how they did that. Wait till they do the year to release it. When the new one comes out, drop the price. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent one or if it's just where it was at on Amazon, but yeah, I mean, $839, I would buy one of these all day long. If I had this opportunity for $899 a month or 2 or 3 ago, I would have snapped it up in a jiffy, but that $1,200 was a really, like, I just don't know if I can spend that. So the phone, I like it. I'm going to make more content about it. I wanted to go ahead and record this again and get it out there so you can see it and you can get a feel for it and get my thoughts and impressions. I like the ergonomics. I like the build quality. I like the screen. I love the screen. I wish it were a little bit brighter. Outside, it doesn't quite hang with the Samsungs and the iPhones, but that's just not their forte, apparently. But overall, I think they did a good job. $800, yeah, it's a really, really good phone, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. That's all I got here. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and head down to the comment section. We can talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.